Anchor Boy and Hothead. In the woods of New York City, a boy Ezekiel Halley was walking to his new school alone. He was nervous. Meanwhile another boy, Ben Piper, was walking alone as well, his nose buried in a book. He didn't care. He was alone though he liked it. Both boys are only 10, but they are heroes. When Zeke/Ezekiel got to school, girls started crawling all over him. Boys tried to act cool to get his attention. The only people who caught his attention was a girl with deep black hair, and a boy with a short blonde hairdo and glasses. The boy was Ben. Ben showed Zeke around the school until Ben started glowing orange. "Do you have scurvy?" Zeke asked, backing away from him. "Speak for yourself, you're aqua blue." Ben yelled back, "What is happening?" he asked Ben, as if he thought Ben knew the answer. "I think it's a present from God," he yelled as if he pretended to know the answer. Then things went dark. Zeke opened his eyes to riches beyond compare, yelling, "Thank you God." However, Ben opened his eyes to himself stuck on the ceiling, but this ceiling was 900 stories high. Zeke realized he was in a cave, and at that moment Ben did too. Ben unstuck himself from the ceiling, but fell, knocking Zeke and himself into a hole. Zeke stuck the landing, saying yeet. Then Ben hit a diamond hanging from the ceiling. "Yuri, having a rough day, huh?" Zeke said, laughing. Ben groaned. "Yo, check it," Zeke said, pointing to two glowing crystals. "God, oh God," Ben said in amazement. Zeke went out to touch the blue one. Ben reached for the orange. In unison they screamed. I wouldn't say scream, more like pain, sorrow, hate, and despair had a child. The boys woke up drowsy and kind of discombobulated, but then they pulled it together and looked at themselves. Zeke was wearing a yellow onesie made of metal, and had an aqua blue line from one eye around his head to the other eye and in between his eyes. He had an anchor symbol on his chest, and his left arm from his elbow down was an anchor. He had aqua blue boots and a matching glove. Ben had rocks all over his body, except for his arms, and his hair was on fire. Ben flew around the room screaming, not knowing he was flying. "Oh my God, I'm flying." He finally noticed. The flames on his body went out and he fell from the ceiling. He was falling into a hole. A giant one, deeper than Dusty Divots. Way deeper. There were a couple of rocks sticking out of the ground around the hole, so Zeke tied his anchor arm around a rock and swung onto the other side and tied his arm on that rock. He kept repeating that process until he made a giant net for Ben. When Ben landed, all the crystals started glowing red and an annoying siren went off. They moved towards the noise. They made their way to a control panel made of pure diamond. It showed a map of the city and a red dot at Times Square. "Does this mean we go to Times Square?" Ben asked. Zeke moaned. "Do you ever read comics?" He snapped. "Wait, how do we get out?" On the control panel, leva was an option. Zeke hit the button, and they were in Times Square. They looked over to see a man made of rock with two heads. One head had orange eyes, and the other had aqua blue. "That bank didn't have them either," said the orange head, "but I sense the presence of the water and fire crystal." The blue head moaned. "Hey Zeke," Zeke yelled. "You guys know crime doesn't pay," Ben shouted. That was super cheesy and totally lame, and exactly what I needed to hear in a superhero high five, Zeke said. Zeke flipped in and blasted water and hit the orange head. He shrieked, "Oh cool, water hurts." Zeke said. He hit the blue head, and he just stood still. Zeke moaned, but then realized a news crew. "Ben, you fight two head and cover me," Zeke said while flipping towards the news crew. "Hi, I'm a superhero, as you can see, and we are fighting this guy." Zeke was interrupted by Ben blasting fire at the man with two heads. "Forget him," Zeke said quickly to get the attention back on him. "He's just a hothead." Zeke said. "Dude, there is a news crew here," Ben said, flying over. He kicked Zeke into the field. "Hi, don't mind him, he just thinks he's some anchor boy wonder," Ben said. "So do you know anything about this man?" Why, the news reporter was interrupted by Zeke's anchor coming down on the man with two heads. "Get in here, dude, this guy is hard," Zeke yelled out to Ben. Ben flew over to the Sean. "Well, there you have it, anchor boy and hothead," the news reporter said. Zeke and Ben were back in school and defeated the man with two heads. "Did you get a name for him?" Zeke asked Ben, who Ben asked like he never fought him. "The guy with two heads," Zeke said with the "you got to be kidding" look in his eyes. Oh him, I thought his name should be Two-Head Triple Element. Ben said. Why do you say triple element? Zeke asked, annoyed with the name. Well, he had fire-based powers, water-based powers and earth-based powers. Ben said, thinking the name was brilliant. Well, I was thinking something not so long and cooler like the Dominator. Zeke said with pride. Screw the other name, we're going with that. Ben said extremely fast. Hi you guys, a voice said from behind them. Oh Zeke, I forgot to introduce you to the sassiest person in school, Delaney. Ben said with a moan in his voice. Hey boys, couldn't help but notice you guys were talking about those new heroes, Delaney said, trying to seem cool. She always tells people to stay out of her business, but loves butting into other people's business. Ben said, teeth gritted. Wow, we are going to get along horribly, Zeke said to Delaney. The two walked down the hall and Ben turned around, faced Delaney, and let out a short loud H.A. Hey Ben, check it, Zeke said. At school in the boys' bathroom, making a ball of water. Poke it, Zeke said, laughing. Ben poked it and a stream of water came out of the ball and hit him in the face. Ben let out a shriek. Zeke laughed and laughed. Aha, a voice came from nowhere. Delaney came out of a stall. So Zeke is anchor boy, Delaney said. Well, Ben is hothead, Zeke said in a panic. Dude, Ben yelled. What were you doing in the boys' bathroom? Ben asked. What do you mean you boys are in the girls' bathroom? Delaney chuckled. Ah, the boys screamed in unison. The second day of school let out, and Ben was confused how this would work out. If Zeke and Ben were hanging out at their favorite froyo shop on the west side of town, and a mugger was on the east side of town, how would they know? Ben's thoughts were interrupted when Hey Ben, Ms. Sassy Pants is here with questions, Zeke said, moaning. Hey, so question 1, how did you guys get powers? Delaney asked in unison. The boys said, we don't know. Question 2, are your powers mythical or scientific? The boys had the same answer, we don't know. Question 3, are all the questions going to be answered the same way? Then you guessed it, we don't know. You boys are useless. Delaney snapped and walked away. Thank God she's gone. Not looking where they were going, they fell into a deep hole. Anchor Boy and